You learn more in your first 3 years of life than you ever will again. How to see, how to walk, how to talk, how to recognize the faces of the people around you. And you remember none of it. And for 100 years, scientists were confident that they knew the answer. But in 2025, they discovered they were wrong. To understand what they got wrong, you have to understand what they believe. Memories are formed by a small curved structure deep in your brain called the hippocampus. And in a baby, the hippocampus is still under construction. It doesn't finish developing until adolescence. So the logic was that babies can't keep memories because the machine that records them isn't built yet. And for decades, we thought that was fact. And it would have stayed that way except for one inconvenient problem. The same forgetfulness happens in mice and monkeys. Baby animals learn things and then lose those memories in adulthood, exactly like us, which gave scientists an opening. They could look directly inside, find a specific memory, and try to switch it back on. And what they found broke the entire theory. The early memories were still there, physically stored, intact. The adult mouse couldn't recall them on its own. But when researchers artificially reactivated the right neurons, the memory came flooding back. The animal suddenly remembered something it had appeared to forget forever. Consider what that means. The memory was never erased, it was just locked. The problem was never that nothing got recorded. It's that the brain had lost the key, which raises a staggering possibility for humans. What if babies form memories too, and we just can't get back in? And this remained a question until a team at Yale found a way to test it directly. Here was their problem. The whole definition of these memories is that you can describe them, and babies can't talk. So, how do you prove a pre verbal infant remembers something? Their solution was clever. They got babies, some of them as young as 4 months, to lie still inside a brain scanner and look at a series of images while the machine watched the hippocampus light up. Then they used one fact about babies that's been known for decades. A baby stares longer at something it recognizes. So if a baby looked longer at an old image, that's the tell. It remembered. The question was whether the hippocampus firing on the first viewing would predict that later recognition. And in March 2025, they got their answer. It did. In babies from around 1 year old, the more the hippocampus lit up while first seeing an image, the more likely they were to recognize it later. For the first time ever in actual human infants, scientists had direct proof. The baby's brain can form memories. The recording machine works far earlier than anyone believed, which detonates the old explanation entirely. If babies can record memories, then infantile amnesia was never a recording problem. It's a retrieval problem. The footage exists, but you've just permanently lost the ability to play it back. So that leaves an obvious question. Why? Why would your brain lock away its own memories? The leading answer is almost poetic. A baby's brain is growing at a furious, explosive rate, generating enormous numbers of new neurons every second. And all that violent new growth may physically disrupt the existing memory traces, new connections paving over the old ones. In other words, the very process that lets a baby learn so fast may be the same process that buries what it learned. You forget your infancy because your brain was developing so powerfully. But that's only one of the locks. There are at least two more, and the second one isn't about your brain's hardware at all. It's about whether you even existed yet. Here's the unsettling idea. To store a memory as yours, a thing that happened to you may first need a stable sense of self, a continuous I that experiences events and files them as its own. But that sense of self doesn't fully exist as a young baby. It develops over the first couple of years. So before there was a you, there may have been no one for the memories to belong to. The experiences happened intensely, but there wasn't yet a self to file them under. And there's a third lock, hiding in something you use every waking second: language. Before you had words, your brain stored experience in a completely different format: raw, wordless, and sensory. Then language came online and rewired how you organize everything. The problem is, your verbal adult brain can no longer read the pre-verbal files. It's like trying to open a document written in software that no longer exists. The memory may be sitting right there, perfectly preserved, in a format you've lost the ability to decode. So now you have the full picture. 3 locks on the same door. If the memories were encoded and stored memories can be reactivated, could your earliest memory still be in there? Intact, locked, but present? Nobody knows yet. However, the door to your infancy might not be empty at all. It just might be sealed, with everything still inside. So the next time you try to reach back and try to remember being very small and hit that wall of pure nothing, understand what the nothing actually is. It isn't absence. It's a locked room full of the most important experiences you ever had, the foundation of everything you became. You just weren't given the key to ever go back. And the strangest part? Scientists are now trying to build one.